Is it time to leave Evernote? That is the question that we ponder today on Webinar Wednesday. Steve Dotto here. How the heck you doing this fine day? And welcome to our 10-minute webinars where we take and give you a recap of our weekly Webinar Wednesday features. This week's topic is whether or not Evernote has jumped the shark, whether or not it is time for us to consider another online note-taking app. And it is not an easy question. This video is a 10-minute recap of our weekly featured webinar. Now, if you want to join us for any of our Webinar Wednesdays, there will be links above and links below for you to join us. But essentially, they are free webinars that we deliver every week here at Dotto Tech. This video is a compressed recap of the highlights of that webinar so you can get the gist of what we covered without spending a full hour. But I would love to see you join us for the real deal on an upcoming Wednesday. Now, without any further ado, let's get on with today's topic. Chat through the entire video. All right. Is it time to leave Evernote? I gotta say, I'm loving being back doing Webinar Wednesday, but this entire topic fills me with a little bit of a sense of disquiet. Move through a few things. First of all, we're going to talk about what I love about Evernote, because Evernote still is an amazing app, and it does amazing things for us if we use it properly. Then we're going to talk about why I'm, and you are probably worried about Evernote, and what we should do about that. We'll also spend some time looking at who's nipping at Evernote's heels, etc. I still think Evernote is a tremendous productivity app, and it's still my go-to app. It's still the app that I'm using at the heart of my system. I have no intention in the short term of migrating my work out of Evernote. As an information vacuum, Evernote is phenomenal. Pulling all the little bits of digital information into one place and allowing me to access it again where I need it and when I need it. The fact that it's ubiquitous, that the same Evernote file is available to me online, on my phone as it is on my computer, that it's all available offline. If I happen to be flying, I still have access to my account. And that it's got such powerful search features built in and such powerful information gathering tools like the Evernote Web Clipper and the scannable camera app, or even Evernote's own built-in camera app, all conspire to pull together and allow me to capture any information that I find out there in the real world, IRL, or online, and pull it in and make sure that I've got access to it where I need it and when I need it. And Evernote still does that. It still does that better than any other tool out there, as far as I'm concerned. And Evernote's an old friend. You know, for many of us now, we have invested years of importing information into Evernote, storing it there, finding it there when we need it. So it's an old friend. And sometimes, you know, one of the things we should kind of take a little bit step back at as far as the Evernote, the use of Evernote itself, is sometimes we take old friends for granted. What they do for us. Just like we take family for granted, what they do for us. And then when they're not there anymore is when we really notice their value. I think that's worth pausing and considering with Evernote, that it is an old friend. For some of us, it's almost family. And what it does for us is very profound. It's a big part of many of our lives. But a couple of weeks ago, Evernote released a Evernote refresh. They posted a blog post and they celebrated this new refresh of Evernote. And I got excited thinking they were addressing some serious update needs because Evernote has been they've been stagnant for quite some time as far as updating and upgrading the features, especially relating to the features the user community has asked most for. Features like giving us password and encryption options at a notebook, and stack level, being able to protect our information more effectively online, which has been, since Evernote began, the number one requested feature that they just seem to completely ignore. So when I saw that they were updating, I had a refresh, I got all excited, I jumped in, took a look, and saw nothing new. But when you read on through the post, they talk about the fact that they have redone the logo and they've looked at the typography of the word mark and they're changing the color scheme. And oh my God, it came home to roost, and it just landed like a lead just in the pit of my stomach, saying, oh, these guys, they're trying to generate some excitement and some interest by putting lipstick on a pig. They basically the news of a series of high-level defections. And it's just like not just one or two high-level defections, but who left? Here we go. They lost over the last little while. There we go. They lost their CTO, CFO, CPO, and head of human resources. And when I look at who they're replacing them with, they're replacing them all with people who have been with, for the most part, with the company in May of 2018 as the new Senior Vice President of Engineering. June of 2018, the General Counsel is now going to be taking all of the human resources responsibility. New people in the job, and a lot of senior people all abandoning ship, one after the other in a cascade. At the same time as we're getting these notifications of new and exciting logo work that they're doing. So this probably was more of a clarion bell to me than the refresh, than how they kind of painted the refresh to us. Was seeing senior people leaving the company means that they don't believe in the vision of the CEO. Because people don't leave great companies. And Evernote has, 250 million subscribers, 225 million users, but a declining number of premium users, into the point where they're offering the premium services for half price. And they're obviously struggling. And some people are calling it a death spiral. I don't know if I would call it a death spiral yet at this point, but it definitely is they are in a downturn. And they have not turned it around, and we don't see any indication that they're about to turn it around at this point. We've got Microsoft's OneNote, which has been around forever, and it's competition that Evernote has weathered, because in my mind, there's still a superior product for a few reasons, but OneNote has some features that are really nice above and beyond what Evernote does, plus it's free. And Google steps into the game with Google Keep. They stepped in quite a while ago. And Google Keep doesn't have a super full featured set, which makes you wonder why they haven't fleshed out Google Keep and made it more robust. But it's still there, and it's still an option. Apple has stepped into the foray, and they're trying to make Apple Notes a really viable option. So you've got the three biggest players in the tech space, all with products that compete with Evernote. All of these companies are trying to take a piece out of Evernote's business, and none more important and none bigger than a product called Notion. Notion is, in my mind, the most interesting player in the marketplace today. Not because of the fact that they're necessarily an Evernote replacement, because they really don't head-on replace Evernote, but they do so many things that they will end up being a replacement for Evernote, as well as they actually make no bones about it. They say we can replace a whole suite of tools for you in a far more effective manner. For example, let me just walk you quickly through this so you can understand the competition and what real innovation looks like compared to what we've been getting from Evernote. So here in Notion, you've got the ability to, they tell you right here, they've got notes and document taking, a knowledge base, task and project management, and spreadsheet and database. So if we go through each of these kind of features, they've got as we scroll our way down, let's start with notes and documents. They say, here, we replace Google Docs or Evernote for you because it can store all of your different notes, store them in a searchable format with full formatting. The Knowledgebase, this is really cool. It's basically a wiki that you can create, which would replace a GitHub wiki or a Confluence, but you can create knowledge bases. This is our procedures for doing this. This is our procedures for doing that. Or little mini courses for your people could all be created here, but they are multi-user editable wiki type documents, also built into Notion. This one also, they're going head to head with Trello and Asana here with their tasks and project management tool. So they're obviously looking at it from a team perspective, and they're looking at managing tasks and projects. Evernote doesn't, of course, have that extensibility. We just look at Evernote for notes and knowledge. We don't necessarily look at it as a very good project manager. We instead integrate it with other projects for that. They integrate spreadsheets and databases as well. Now here they replace Google Sheets or Airtables. What it is I mentioned this in the vlog that I posted about this, is Evernote right now is on the cusp of becoming a legacy app and not an app we choose to use. A legacy app is an app that you have to use because you have so much data invested in it, so you are forced to use it, you aren't excited about using it, and you don't look at it as a growth tool. That's what Evernote is on the cusp of becoming. If they're not careful, they will become a legacy app. Legacy apps are still valuable. For a very long time, legacy apps will be valuable. They just won't be something that we invest new time in. And for somebody like us, we won't be recommending people start to invest in Evernote because there will be better options with more of a future to invest in the future. That is the reality of what we face with Evernote today. There you have a taste of what we covered in the webinar this week. And once we got into the Q&A section at the end of the webinar, there were so many questions where people are considering migrating out of Evernote and looking for options to migrate out. And frankly, we don't have great options right now for migrating out of Evernote. This is a process that we are just starting to look at. But if it's something that you're concerned about, I encourage you to make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel because we will be talking about it as this story evolves. I hope you found this video to be entertaining and useful. It's a new idea for us to have this 10-minute webinar compilation. So let me know what you think. Is it something valuable? Do you like it? Is it encouraging you to register to join us for Webinar Wednesday? Would love to hear your feedback. And with that, I think we have exceeded our 10-minute time limit, so I remain Steve Dotto. Till next time, have fun storming the castle.